Hi guys. We want our children to be successful. No matter whether you're a parent or a teacher, you want your children to be successful. And we have the notion as parents and teachers that you need to have talent, you need to have high IQ, or you need to be really hardworking to be successful. If not, you're not a good student. And when a student is not working hard, not doing well in an exam, the common notion that we have is what? Student is not studying. We say student is not motivated, student is not persistent, student doesn't have passion towards the subject, doesn't like the subject, not good in the subject, and so on and on. Nobody takes the trouble to find out why is the student not interested? Why is the student not motivated? Or why is the student not successful despite its efforts towards the subject? At CFL, we get some of the very good students from the region coming and studying here. And year after year, we've seen nearly 50-60% go to the top colleges, and it bothers us that why not everyone go to the top colleges in the country? We see really high IQ students not getting to the top colleges in the country. And my reflection on this and my understanding on this now has come from looking at students who are not at CFL but who are really successful. When we look at students and we think that they're not successful students because they don't work hard or they don't have enough IQ, we've got the wrong conclusion here. So my current conclusion is that, or the way I started thinking right now is when I see a student who's not successful, I started realizing that they don't have the right attitude, they don't have the right beliefs, or they don't have the right values, or they don't have the right habits of successful students. Let me explain this to you. You see a student who's very successful and who's really a good student, and let's take his attitudes. He's got an attitude, something called as a growth mindset attitude. He sees that failure is an opportunity to grow, challenges make me better, I can learn anything I want to, the more effort I put into the subject, the better I become. Feedback is very constructive. This kind of a student takes on more challenging subjects, more challenging problems. It's like, let's say you are seeing a student who's a badminton player, and he takes on opponents that are always much better than him or much better than her. That player might fail every single time, but that player is going to get better every single time. And there will be a point when that player will be representing the country. Let's say you have another player or another student there who takes on opponents of the same level or at a level lower than him or her. The student might win matches, but then the student is not getting better. The attitude of the student who says that failure is an opportunity to grow, challenges makes me better, I can learn anything I want to, feedback is very constructive, is an attitude called as a growth mindset. Carol Dweck wrote heavily about this subject and says we need to give our children something called as growth mindset. So if I see a student that is not successful, I said this student has got fixed mindset attitudes, and I need to change their attitude, something called as growth mindset. Who has to do it? The parents have to do it, the teachers have to do it. Next, take on the second things, the beliefs. What is a belief? A belief is an idea that you think it's a truth without any facts. Okay. Now let's say, for example, if you have the belief that God exists, or if you have the belief that God doesn't exist, both are beliefs, but you'll see the world in a very different light. Take another belief. If you have a belief that good people, if you do good, you will thrive in the world, or if you have the belief that it doesn't matter whether you do good or bad, you'll thrive in the world, you'll see a world in a very different light. The first person tries to do good in this world, tries to be a very just, very honest person to thrive in this world. The second person, doesn't matter, for him only success matters. Whether it does right or the wrong, doesn't matter, success matters for him. So it depends on your beliefs, on how you see the world. So for a successful student, you might have the belief that what I'm studying today will have an impact on my future. That belief you need to have. But if I asked your students, or if you ask our students about their beliefs about education, and they're doing it for marks, and the teachers are educating for marks, parents are educating the children for marks, then you've got the wrong beliefs. Take on students, for example, values. And you ask the children, what are your values? And you ask students who are successful, ask their values. They respect their studies, they respect their teachers. they are very dedicated, they're very disciplined, they're very consistent, they're very adaptable. No matter what the circumstances, they'll adapt. No matter how difficult the subject, they're willing to learn. These are some of the values of very successful students. See, where did our children get their attitudes, their beliefs, or their values? See, no matter who it is, let's say you're born in a region, it could be Bangalore, Bihar, or in any part of the country. If they're born to the same parents, but they were raised instead of the place they were born, in Chicago, New York, Singapore, Sydney, or any other place, they would have different attitudes, different beliefs, different values, a different accent, different habits, different goals. So our children's, who they are defined by the environment. Who's the environment? It's the parents first, second is the teachers, next is the society. And our children have got the wrong attitude, have got the wrong beliefs and wrong values. It's because of the environment they are in. As parents and teachers, if we don't see our children or the students in the class as equal, how can we give equality as a value to our children? If you treat one student in one way who's studying really hard and the student who is not studying in a different way, how can you give equality as a value to our children? You can't, right? So the parents and teachers give this value. Give an example. Let's say you tell your children to be consistent, but you are not consistent as a parent. I'm not consistent as a parent. How can I give this value to my children? So if we want our children to be successful as teachers and parents, we need to give them the right attitude, the right belief, and the right values. And only then our children will be successful. Thank you.